Phoebe, you did it. Your first. Well, your first in a while. You've been trying at it, but you got it this time. Hello. Oh, you like Alice in Chains? Like the coldest winter chill, heaven beside you. They've, when I really didn't like Alice in Chains much when they were popular. I kind of found Lane Staley's voice a little annoying, but nowadays it's a little more palatable for me. I still can't listen to that fucking song, The Rooster, though. I found a way, don't kill me, yeah. While my eyes burn with sting and swell. It's just like, I just can't. I can't fucking hang with that song, dude. Sorry, I just can't do it. Congratulations, Phoebe, on ascending to the next level of humanity. Only made it 3 days into the tea break, but it helped. Hey, well, I didn't make it very long into mine either. Turns out that tea breaks are for losers. I like Stone Temple Pilots. I liked Core. I think was their first album, or was it? Yeah, Core. I like that album a lot. Paul's impression of Lane Staley sounds like someone farting into a microphone and into a guitar. Whatever. I checked to see if you were live 5 seconds before you went live. YouTube sent the notification straight to my brain. Doodle-doo. Hello, Mr. Naughty Priest. Thank you as always, friend. Good evening to you. Good evening. They always ask what it do, but they never ask how it do. Oh, Lord, you made many, many poor people. I understand, of course, that it is no shame to be poor, but it is no great honor either. So what would have been so bad if I had a small fortune? That's true. Is that some Tevye? There's a little bit of Tevye popping off here. Do that little speech every time I start my shift. Yeah. If Amazon workers unionize in Alabama, that'll be huge. It's a good step in the right direction. Step in the right direction for sure. I have a feeling that given the nature of the company, Amazon will simply just shut down its distribution facilities in Alabama and open up a bunch in neighboring states or whatever the fuck. It's got to be like a national thing, but once again, I'm not gonna poo-poo it. It's a step in the right fucking direction. They're taking their labor into their own hands, so I'm not gonna poo-poo it. But like I said, we need a national strike on these types of companies. Remember that dude who chainsawed Tom's Green desk? His music would use chainsaw sounds. I don't remember who that was. I remember watching the video, though, and it being, like, really pretty cringy to watch. Fuba. Good old Fuba. Twitter wants to charge for some tweets. Damn. Well, I hate to tell all of you, but my tweets are going right behind the paywall from now on. You want to hear me just endlessly remind you that Joe Biden and Donald Trump are functionally an arm of the same fucking problem? You have to pay for it now. Dude, today was a bad fucking day for harm reduction voters. It was a real bad day. Joe Biden dropped bombs on Syria today and allowed the $15 minimum wage to die. So you're not even getting the $15 minimum wage by 2025 thing. That's out of the COVID relief bill. That happened today. Tough day for harm reduction people, especially one day after Biden reopened the fucking kitty cages on the border. Just rough all around, man. Biden bailed on his base. He was never with his base. He didn't bail on anybody. I love your Twitter account because I can always trust you to keep me abridged to the heinous shit Biden administration is getting up to under our noses. Well, I'm not the only one fucking keeping track of it, but yep. I hate I hate that a lot of young people had to feel that way this time. Their first time going out. But that's just the truth of it. Like, it's been this way forever, guys. And I've been screaming it at the top of my fucking lungs, and I just don't even know if there's any point anymore. You know what I mean? I can't help but fucking point it out because it's just absurd to me. But as far as me, like, trying to convince people that we need to do something different, I've pretty much given up on that. You guys have no idea when I throw these things on Twitter how much pushback I get from people. Like, there's people that are actually stepping in front of Joe Biden and going like, wait a minute now, 1,400 plus 600 is 2,000, or wait a minute now, this detention center for children is different. It's like, what? Well, you're spot on about everything. It's so funny how Vosh is ironically quiet about the kids in cages now and the airstrikes. I don't know if he's quiet or not. I don't really care about Vosh. I don't care what Vosh is saying. It doesn't matter to me anymore. It shouldn't matter to anybody with a fucking half a brain in their head. I feel weak. I'm just so tired of it all. It's just gonna get worse, man. I don't want to fucking pile on you when you're feeling bad, but it's just gonna get fucking worse. This is the end result of generational harm reduction / lesser of two evils voting. This is the end result. Days like today, years like this year is going to be the end result, okay? People are dying in the streets. People are homeless. People have been without work and without any kind of fucking income for months and months and months and months. And the American government had the money to drop probably $7, $8, $9, $10, $20 million worth of bombs on Syria today. But just can't get around to getting the minimum wage up to a livable level. Just can't get around to actually getting a check in the mail for people that have been waiting for it, much less a monthly check like every other fucking Western nation and pretty much every nation of note got. It's just fucking absurd. This is the end result, man. This is what you get. And guess what comes at the end of this? Because there's some people out there on the grift saying that Biden sucking is a good thing for the left. No, it isn't. Because guess what happens? We live in a two-party system. So guess what happens in 4 to 8 years? Huh? You guys want to take a guess? Tom Cotton for president. Mike Pence for president. Donald Trump for president. Again. Had a great time playing today. Harm reductionism is disgusting copium philosophy. Keep preaching. Love you. Yeah, dude, it was fun. Me and Jason and Jason's friend Vince played some Dota 2 today. We had a good time. You ain't got to donate to me, Jason. I appreciate you. No, those were fun games. They were salty games, but they were fun. Tom Cotton sounds like a supervillain name. Just today I read that McConnell supports a second Trump presidency. Of course he does. Of course the Turtle Man does. Liberal moms are not going to drop everything and become socialists. They're already making excuses for Biden. I know. Go look at my Twitter for proof of that. The last 3 days, I've just pointed out what Biden did that day, and go look at how many people lined up to make an excuse for it. But why provide relief for Americans when you can kill people in other countries with that money? Don't be silly. I know. There's no money in helping people. There is money in dropping bombs, though, because those bombs have to be replaced. You know, you can't just drop all your bombs and then be like, oh shit, we ran out of bombs. So you got to contract with some people to make some more bombs. Biden clearly has no incentive to try and pass a $15 an hour minimum wage. No, he doesn't. At the risk of changing the subject, can you do, and TJ do more pitch wars, but with video games? I don't think TJ's interested enough in video games to care to do that. Zonster has got to be the most ridiculous lib on Twitter. I don't know about that, man. Zonster's an old friend of mine, but it is what it is. Your Biden impersonation deserves a tip. So funny. Thank you. I appreciate it, Kurt. As being very nice to me tonight. Truth be told, it's not a good day for the country. Bombs falling in another foreign country is not a good day for our country. It's not a good day for our young people. It's not a good day for trans people who were just recently let back into the military. It's a portent of further war and a portent of what's coming in the Biden administration's foreign policy and war policy. And it is probably going to mean unnecessary boots on the ground, and it's probably going to mean dead Americans for no reason. As if we need more of those right now. We don't have enough dead Americans here in America. Biden has friends whose wallets would be hurt. Biden has never been on the side of people. Biden is an old school center-right austerity lib. He was a segregationist. He's a racist, a probable rapist, a creep, and a corporate whore. And a fucking, what do you call it? Like a race profiteer. He's a piece of shit. A war hawk, too. Joe Biden never met a war he didn't love. Got too many friends in the business, you know. Hey, Paul, I got the COVID. Wish me luck, please. Sorry to hear that, dude. I hope it's just a mild case like most people get. That's basically what you're saying, Paul, is that you support Trump. Yeah. I love that shit. Dude, I'll point out what Biden's doing. There are still people now a month into his presidency, and he's failed this hard already. And there are still people going like, yeah, but you know what? Biden is still greater than Trump. And it's like, really? All right, well, talk to me tomorrow then. Biden is still greater than Trump. Today he dropped bombs and killed the $15 minimum wage. Biden is still better than Trump. It's like, fuck, man. We're doomed. We are D-O-O-M-E-D'd. Don't forget the multiple compilations you can find online where Biden is sniffing and groping children. He doesn't have a single redeemable quality. Yeah, no, he doesn't. He's a piece of shit. He's 100% a piece of shit. He's a huckster. He's a racist. He's a fucking austerity monger. He's a warmonger. He's a fucking pimple on the ass of the DNC that should have been popped long ago. I know it's a tiny detail, but Harris killed the minimum wage. Not that Biden would save it if it was up to him. No, Biden could. Biden could actually step in and do something about it, but he doesn't want to. You guys remember, like a week ago, I posted a news story about how Biden candidly told a group of mayors and state legislators that the $15 minimum wage wasn't happening. Well, he wasn't lying. He knew this is all planned. It's just being rolled out today on the same day he dropped bombs. Like that's accidental that news broke today. Look over here. No minimum wage. Take that out of the COVID bill. Look over there. This has all been like you act like this shit is just happening and Biden is just making these bad decisions. This shit was set in motion months ago. This shit was set in motion before Biden ever sat in the presidency. Before he ever put his hand on the stack of Bibles or whatever the fuck, that big old giant Necronomicon that he swore in on. This shit was already put in motion. You guys, this is chess, not checkers. We need to understand this. Weapons deal to Raytheon. Bombs drop today. Raytheon stock goes through the fucking roof today. Coincidence? The American people's safety depended upon the bombing of Syria today. Nothing will fundamentally... It's just ridiculous, dude. I just fucking can't get the taste out of my mouth of fucking being a DNC voter, and it's been years since I voted. I still feel icky about participating in it, and I just watched all of these bright young people participate in it and sign right up and sign their fucking name next to every bomb that fell on Syria today. And they go like, well, They make excuses for it until it gets so disgusting to them that they can't, and then they become me. The problem is we don't have time to wait. We don't have time to wait for everybody to fucking learn this shit in 3 cycles. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to tell people this any other way. How else can I say it? I don't speak no other languages. Planet is dying. People are dying every single fucking minute of every day all over this planet as a result of United States policy, both internally here in the United States of COVID-19 and externally as we export that violence to small countries and underdeveloped countries. Every second of every day, somebody's croaking because of American policy. This is not a joke. I'm not fucking around here. We do not have time to continue to legitimize fascist fucks like Joe Biden with our votes anymore as leftists. Period. And let me tell you something about this. If you voted for Joe Biden, your name is signed on every Raytheon bomb that fell out of the bottom of a B-52 today over fucking brown people in Syria. Your name is on every one of those bombs. You might as well have been there in the window of that plane blowing those fucking people a kiss. You ought to be sick with yourself. You ought to be sick with yourself. You ought to be sick with yourself. every last life that was lost in Syria today has your name signed underneath it. I voted for this. Slap it on a corpse. You could probably wrap every corpse in Syria endlessly with names of people that legitimize their deaths today. You ought to be sick with yourself if you're a leftist. You ought to be sick that you showed up at the polls and signed your name underneath that. You ought to be sick that there's 700 little migrant kids living in cages now. You ought to be sick with yourselves for legitimizing this fucking piece of shit. People are just too disconnected. Like, I saw people that voted for Biden, like, memeing today. It's like, fuck you. Your guy just bombed somebody. Go hang your head. Go hang your fucking head for every life lost today in Syria, you dumb, credulous fuck. I'm just gonna meme my way through the day that fucking bombs started falling because of me. Fuck you. Everybody's so unplugged. We pulled a financial and military support out of Yemen just to dump it into Iran. Yep. What kind of excuses are people making for Biden on Twitter? I don't go on there. Like they're equivocating about whether or not it's the same, that the kids are being treated the same as they were being treated. Like kids in cages was a Trump thing. Like this is basically what I'm hearing. Kids in cages was a Trump thing. This is just a necessary temporary COVID detention facility for children. And I'm like, so cage. So they're in a cage. Well, no, they're in a facility. The same facility that you guys bitched about being kids in cages. Well, yes, but there's a different, it's just like it's endless fucking excuse making. Endless excuse. Because if you don't make an excuse for it, how can you possibly be morally superior to the fucking Trumpists? How can you maintain that false sense of fucking moral superiority if you don't endlessly excuse this shit or downplay it or meme your way through it? You know that like person that did that video that kind of turned into a meme in the run up to the election that was like, people are asking like, why would you vote for Joe Biden? And let me think. Maybe because the other guy's like a fucking literal fascist. Maybe that's why. Did you ever remember that meme? I wonder how that person feels today. I wonder what that person spent their day doing as bombs fell with their dumb-looking face all over it. Whatever. Excusable. Was that I don't know if it was a girl. It was a person in a car that was very animated. Let's talk about real problems after the fascist is out of office, guys. I swear I'll care about real issues when Trump is gone. Yeah. Once we get Trump out of office, we can really start focusing on the issues that matter. A lot of those people are just like, well, you can hear the ambiance. The push Biden left crowd, I don't know where they fucking went. They all disappeared into some fantasy that they never existed in the first place. Like, it's just, the whole fucking thing is falling apart. Liberals in disguise as far leftists. I mean, some of these people don't even sound like liberals to me. Like, being a lib is one thing. Some of these people sound like downright fucking Republicans to me. But then again, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. So what was Republican then is liberal now, I guess. John Holder, thanks for the $4.99. Appreciate it. Paul, we have more bombs to drop, dude. What do you think? Money grows on trees? Come on, pal. Yeah. Trans people are going to fucking die for this, Phoebes. If this war gets hot, there are going to be people that went back into the military because Biden let them back in, and they're going to be put in front of bullets in Syria. And they're going to die for this. And I hate to fucking be like tippity tap dance, but I told you so. I told you so. I told you also. Anybody that voted for this fuck, I told you so. And this is going to get worse. You think this one day of bombing, you think it's going to be a limited campaign like they're trying to spin in the media? At least people don't have to worry about ICE anymore. Yeah, what a fucking joke, huh? 2 weeks into his presidency, he gives new orders to ICE that basically are completely the same orders as ICE had prior to his presidency. And they start fucking raiding houses and capturing migrant people again. And now there's kids back in the cage. And now there's bombs falling overseas again. I mean, the anti-war left is almost dead, asbestos fingers. Saying that 20 years ago, you'd have had a lot of leftists going, hell fucking yeah, he is. Fuck this warmongering piece of shit. But the anti-war left just whimpered and died under Barack Obama. When Barack Obama started launching these fucking drone strikes and blowing up people at weddings and shit, the anti-war left just shrunk and died. And what's left behind is this excuse-making, theory-quoting, dude bro leftism that is at least partially responsible for the atrocities that were committed in fucking Syria today. Years of the constant wars have made conflict the new norm. That's sick. That's disgusting. It's sick. It's sick. I voted for Barack Obama in 2000 and what was it? What was his first term? It was 2008, right? And then 2012 was the second. Or am I wrong about that? Yeah, no, I'm right about that. So the last time I voted was 2008 for anything. I voted in 2008. Party line Democratic ticket for Barack Obama, mostly. but I voted down the line left as I could on the ballot. Felt like it was a change. Felt like there was something new and fresh and different coming to the White House, and maybe an era of real leftism, maybe a little piece of it at least, had a little bit of hope, and that just fell to shit. Because he did dude, his first month was exactly like Biden's. It was filled with broken, adamant campaign promises. We're going to stop ICE. I want to tell you right now, the way that ICE is being used against migrant families and workers in this country. I'll tell you, Jack, it's like the Nazis. It's like the Gestapo. And I'm going to stop it. I'll tell you what, day one, Latino community, the Mexicanos, the Chicanos, the Latinos, the Latinxes. I'm going to tell you something, Jax. You vote for me, I'm going to stop that. And then he's just still doing it. What a fucking snake. You know what the first thing that's going to happen is? Those $2,000 checks are going to go out the door. All these fucking liberals, too. They flipped Georgia for nothing. Reverend Warnock. First thing that's going to happen is that let me tell you something, Jack. You're never going to see anything faster. You ever seen a jackrabbit running from a coyote? My daddy told me that's the fastest thing you ever see, Jack, and I'll tell you what, there's one thing faster. And that's going to happen right here in America when you elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We're going to get them checks out the door. Fuck this snake. Get why people wanted to go easier on Biden during the election, but why are people making it? No, I mean, I don't even make excuses for going easier on Biden during the fucking election. If I would have voted for him, I wouldn't even be in front of you guys. I would be sick to my stomach today. Sick. I appreciate your voice. Thanks, Graham Duff. Let me go get something to drink, guys. You just hang out, huh? Let me let Dinor in. He looks a little chilly willy. You chilly willy, little flu molo? You wanna go inside? Alright. Alright, you little dust mop. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Thanks for waiting. Had to take a little breather, walk around a little bit, and shake it off. I was starting to get real mad. I'm sorry if I was uncharitable to you and you voted for Biden. I just am so tired of this. It's not an excuse for fucking making people feel bad for no reason. You didn't fucking drop any bombs on anybody if you voted for Biden. But you got to start looking at it that way. You really do. You got to start treating your vote that way. Because the constant fucking election of these people is what justifies this shit. You have to see the connection and you have to stop participating. No, I'm not trying to throw anybody on the fucking bus. I'm just sick with it. I'm sick of it and I'm sick with it. I don't know. I don't know. It's just depressing. I can't tell you how depressing it is to be as old as I am. If you're not my age and you're living through this still, I can't tell you how fucking beat down you're gonna feel in 20 years or 10 years or however long you have between you and me. Oh, God. Excuse me. Biden says he'll do stuff about climate change, but will he really? No. And you want my evidence on that? Here it is. Biden may make some token expenditures that offset some of the carbon emissions, like he might, federally underwrite the installation of some windmills or whatever the fuck. Like, I'm not saying he's going to do absolutely nothing. I'm saying the type of action that's needed right now, if you want to talk political action or direct action or whatever the fuck, the type of action that's needed right now for the earth, we're talking it's like DEFCON 1 action. We need to focus every available resource that this country has and convince every country that we can possibly convince to make every available resource like ready to be fucking delivered to try and find some kind of a parachute to help humanity through this collapse. And anything that falls short of that is just bullshit. It's like, using a thimble to bail water out of the bottom of the fucking Titanic or some shit. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So, news sources are saying that an American contractor died tonight in the Syria bombings. Yeah, I mean, it's not shocking. This type of shit happens a lot. I mean, this is one of the more disgusting parts of war. You probably already told this at some point, but can you elaborate on why you don't instead vote third party? Because there's no third party that represents my interests.
So you got the libertarians and the Greens. That's it.
Yep, I have the Green Party, which in my estimation doesn't go far enough with social policy and doesn't go far enough with economic policy and definitely doesn't go far enough with environmental policy for calling itself the Green Party. they're just more sensible about the environment than the Democrats are, and more sensible on some things, but they have no chance of winning. And I'm not a libertarian. So there you go. Never really liked the Greens.
Those are the only two parties that have ever shown up in like
Right.
major results.
I mean, and there sometimes there are these independent runs that happen, like Ross Perot, for example, and Ralph Nader. You know what I mean? But those types of chances come few and far between. The last time I had the chance to vote for Ralph Nader for the presidency, I think he was running against Barack Obama again in 2008. So I didn't. You know what I mean? It's pretty small, but I voted for Party for Socialism and Liberation. They were on my Washington ballot. I mean, yeah.
See, there's like
Those are those.
There's like 4 different socialist parties.
There are. There's the Democratic Socialists of America, and then there's the American Socialist Party, and then there's the Socialist Workers Party of America, and then, you know what I mean? There's like, so here's the thing, guys. I don't mean to fucking undercut them, but third parties in the American duopoly are what I like to call participation trophies. It's like the people that realize the duopoly is a problem, but they still need to have that little release valve. Like, well, at least I did something. At least I voted my conscience. No, you didn't. You just tossed your fucking vote in the wastebasket, like everybody else. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess it's the closest you can get to a no confidence vote, because I think only Nevada has the no confidence. Or whatever.
Yeah, no confidence voting should be on the national ballots and should be on every state ballot. And I would vote no confidence every fucking election. You count on that shit. But because there's not a no confidence vote, I see my vote as an implicit support of what that person will do while they're in office. And because I can't and will never trust a politician at that level of, you know, maybe outside of Bernie Sanders, and even him, I don't really trust as far as I could pick his old ass up and throw him.
Maybe if they consolidated, but there's like 30 third parties or something.
It's over. It's just a release valve vote.
What?
You're over there shivering. You don't think I see it?
Let me finish my smoke.
Okay.
I'll put another sweater on.
I think you might need another pair of pants too, and some shoes on those feet. You're out here, you're sock feet. I'll give you my shoes.
No, I'll get my slippers.
I can't stand people being cold. I'll strip butt naked. Give her my whole wardrobe right here. What a fucked up day to be an American. Huh, D? What a fucked up day, huh? To be an American. What's this?
Shivering. It's probably too cold for you.
Yeah, you got like eye crusties. I won't pull it no more. I'm sorry. Got like hard eye crusties. Huh? It's real close to his eye, so you might want to just leave it for the groomer. I had to look up what a no confidence vote is. Your old Twitter username makes so much more sense now, yes. Why it's not an available fucking option on the ballot, I don't know.
You got little special eye wipes too.
Yeah, we got the angel eyes stuff that's supposed to help break it up, but he's just got like this solid cake of booger. He just has always had that. I think it's because he's got the Shih Tzu eyes, so they leak a lot. Not the eyeball, but just the tear ducts and stuff leak a lot.
Yeah. I was shivering out here. The diner was probably cold too.
Oh, I let him in when I came in to visit
I know
you
he was
just
so
now.
hot on my heels when I was coming out.
Yeah. But I know he's cold. He probably needs a sweater. Dude, I gotta tell you, man. It is cold, way colder than I expected it was going to be here at this time of year. So this is a very strange winter indeed.
Cricket's birthday, though.
What breed is Cricket? Is he a Maine Coon?
Bombay.
Or Bombay. Yeah. Bombay. He's some kind of mix, though, because he doesn't have the the golden Bombay eyes. He's got, like, green eyes. But he's a black kitty.
He just turned 3.
What is the elite's end game with disregard for climate and endless wars? It's like, look, dude. It's the knowledge that they can perpetuate it for X amount of fucking years before they ever have to face it. It's like kick the can. It's like, why pay for today what you can profit from tomorrow? So once it gets all huge, then they'll all come together and look like our saviors and make a bunch of money doing it and make things worse in the process. It's just going to be you know what I mean? That's the game. They're playing the long game. They're in the catbird seat, and they don't have to stop. That's why they're not going to, because nobody's making them.
Yeah, I doubt their goals are like some mass extinction or whatever.
No.
They just don't care.
They don't care. They don't believe that that's going to actually happen, or they don't care if it actually happens. They're alive for 30, 40 more years, and they know that the earth is going to be around for 30, 40 more years, and they can be rich as fuck. Like, 10 years ago, nobody was talking about primary and corporate Dems within the party. Now it's expected. I think this is progress. Am I naive? 10 years ago, nobody was talking about primary and corporate Dems within the party. Now it's expected. I think this is progress. Am I naive? So you're talking about, like, people are more aware
Of the primaries?
like, of corporate Dems being pretty much nothing, like stacking the Democratic primaries and shit, and you think that wasn't an issue back in the day? Like, when are you going back to when that wasn't an issue? Because I know that corporate tie, like Democrats with heavy corporate ties, has been a thing that's been bandied about the left in America at least since the 90s.
It's been a long time since like the Democratic convention was like split.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like old-timey times since then.
Like, were they like rioting in the fucking halls with signs and shit?
Yeah, wasn't it like during Prohibition and
I
shit?
think it might have been around then, yeah.
What do you think of the movie Stand By Me? It's good. It's a good flick. Didn't we watch Stand By Me together? Where the little kids go find the body?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I was tossing in my mind, like, is it that one or is it the baseball with the demon?
Oh, yeah, no, that one's The Sandlot. Yeah, they're similar types of movies. Little kid adventure films, but Stand By Me is a little darker, I think, than your average little kid adventure film, and it's pretty good, based on a Stephen King story. Yeah, The Body by Stephen King, yeah. Or I guess Richard Bachman. I think it was a Richard Bachman story, honestly. I might be wrong about that when it was originally released. I don't think of it as the body flick, but yeah, technically it is. I mean, yeah, that's the thing you're gonna, like, I was trying to remind Amelia of what the movie was, and that's something you're not gonna forget. The movie where the kids go find a body, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's not, like, the most memorable thing about the movie, but it's definitely something that's gonna stand out if you've seen it, you know? From that movie with the kids in it, you know, that's not gonna help much, you know? I could have been like that movie where the kid tells the story about the big fat guy and the pie eating contest and shit, but that took more words, you know. That's my favorite part of the movie. I love the lard ass story. Boom, bada, boom, bada. They're all making fun of lard ass, but he gets his sweet revenge. Progressive Democrats are increasingly challenging entrenched right-wing corporate Dems. All right. Here's where you're talking about like the Squad, right? So the Squad chose not to force the vote on Medicare for all during a pandemic. The Squad wasn't able to do anything about the $15 minimum wage being excised from the COVID-19 relief bill, which happened today.
I think they're talking about too, like just primaries for like individual states for senators and representatives too.
Sure. I mean, you're talking about like at the state level. Sure. I don't know. If that power doesn't coalesce and reach up to the fucking halls of power in this country, and we don't dig out these fucking entrenched corporate pieces of shit like McConnell and Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden, for fuck's sake, and Kamala Harris, like, they've got to go. These old lib politicians have got to go. This old guard has got to go. And that's just never going to happen in the Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders is proof of that. Bernie Sanders was clearly the candidate with the most hype behind him in public, but it's so gerrymandered against a candidate like him, and he didn't have the support of the fucking DNC. The DNC scuttled him not once but twice. Anybody that tells you in the same breath that they're a liberal and voted for Joe Biden, and then tells you that Bernie lost, get over it, is a fucking wolf in sheep's clothing, okay? Bernie didn't lose. Bernie was scuttled twice in a row because he chose to play within the rules of the DNC and not run third party. He may not have won if he ran third party, but guess who else wouldn't have won? Joe Biden. He would have split the fucking Democratic vote, and you better believe it. He probably would have beat Joe Biden. I imagine you, TJ, and Scotty finding the body. What a video that would be. There's a couple of movies where kids find a body, though. Like, if Amelia had seen Boys in the Hood, she might have gotten confused. Because in Boys in the Hood, there's a pretty famous scene where he's like, hey, you guys want to go see a dead body? And they'd go see it, just like a poor dead homeless person laying on the side of the road.
Yeah, but Stand By Me is a journey.
Right. Paul, how do you think millennial and Gen Z politicians will govern in 20 years? Probably not far from what we're seeing now. I mean, I hate to say this, but power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think that AOC is a couple of fucking terms from just being a lib. She's already started to act like one. Excusing the not forcing the vote on Medicare. I mean, she's just kind of fucking taken the Biden angle on a lot of issues. I don't know does anybody know where AOC stands on Biden reopening the cages for kids? Because I remember she made a big deal about going and crying outside the gates of one of those places. Is she doing that again? Is she crying outside of the gates of Biden's facility? You see what I mean?
There's people making excuses. It's like, oh, well, where are we going to put them then?
What do you
on the street?
Yeah, what do you expect us to do? I got in a Twitter argument today. Well, not an argument, but like I made a post about it, and then I had a bunch of people who were not like right-wing people. They were like libs. And they were like, oh my God, Paul, what do you expect us to do with those kids? And I'm like, foster care? And they're like, oh yeah, that's real fucking reasonable. On the day that bombs are falling in Syria, it's not reasonable for us to federally fund a foster care program for 700 unaccompanied migrant children. Get the fuck out of my face. You're not a leftist if you come at me like that. I know what you are if you come at me like that. You're a lib. You're a fucking center-right liberal. Sorry, baby. At least Trump isn't keeping kids in cages. Biden found them nice, safe, warm shipping crates now. Oh, well.
They're taking down the chain link, so it looks less cagey.
Just get out. Where would we get the money to create a foster program? It's like, I don't know, maybe that $250 million that went to Raytheon to pay for the bombs that just got dropped today, maybe that could have given a good head start on it, if not outright funded it. So what is this? Where are we going to get the money? You're sounding like Republicans now. You've been hanging around with libs for so long, you're starting to sound like Republicans. Where do we get the money? Where do we get the money? Whose refrain is that usually? Isn't it usually like Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio crybabying that out in the fucking floor of the Senate or in the House? Now we got leftists. Where are we going to get the money? How are we going to do that? How can we possibly do something more compassionate than reopening a prison for children? Where's the money going to come from? Did you guys see his vomit-inducing Twitter video from a couple of days ago where he was like, people in America, I want to let you know that we've all had dark days, but America will smile again. America will laugh again. America's got good times on the horizon, Jack. And I'm just like, shh. It's always darkest before the dawn, Jack. Let me tell you that. The sun always comes up on the horizon, over the you know the thing. Sun comes up, and the light comes out, Jack. It's dark right now in America. But then the light's gonna come. 2 days before he drops a bunch of bombs on brown people in a fucking foreign country that most Americans can't even find on a map. Get out of my face, you disgusting dog turd of a human being, and anybody making excuses for this fuck. No $15 minimum wage, dude. I gotta get fucking Zonster up in here one of these days, because I gotta fucking tap dance on Zonster a little bit, because I'll tell you what, he's always one of these fucking voices that comes against me when I post on fucking Twitter. And a couple of weeks ago, I made a post about the $15 minimum wage not coming through. I quoted a fucking Politico article where Biden had said this. And then he was like, really bad timing on this. They actually just announced in the House that the $15 minimum wage is part of the COVID package, so you might want to just be informed on that. few days later, on the same day, a bunch of bombs start falling. He was arguing with me this morning about how the cages that Biden put people in are more humane than the cages that Trump was putting children in. So the cages that Biden is putting kids in were more humane for whatever fucking reason than the ones that Trump were doing. And like a week ago, he was in there talking about how the $15 minimum wage was still on the table. So it's just like, I can't do it anymore. And you guys know what? I'm not Nostradamus. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not reading the tea leaves and reading the bones here. I'm not running a tarot operation over here. All right? I'm not a palmist. I just look at what the fuck is happening and look at what the fuck has happened in my life and go like, that's probably going to happen again. And it does. And it does. And it does. And it does. And everybody calls me a fucking doomer and a do-nothing fucking high school level nihilist. And they just keep on trudging towards extinction. I feel like putting on a little jester's hat and going like... There Will Be Blood is better than Gangs of New York. Yes.
And that's another movie that you showed me that I was kind of like meh on, the Gangs of New York.
Yeah. It didn't grab you. I mean, I don't blame you. It's like there's one performance in Gangs of New York that I show up for, and it's Daniel Day-Lewis's performance. And he's not in a lot of the early part. Well, he's at the very beginning, but the early parts of the movies don't include a lot of him. He becomes more and more saturated in the film as it goes on. And I think if you watched it a little more, you might come to appreciate that, because it just seems like a performance you'd be into. But yeah, the movie itself is not that great. There Will Be Blood is a great film. So we watched that, right? Yeah, that's great. Repetition is inevitable. Oh, thank you, wise guru. I drink Paul's milkshake. Yeah, everybody be drinking my milkshake. I'm the third revelation. Oh, I love that shit. I love that movie so much. Lol, you're just a chud. Who, me? I'm a chud? Everything will be okay, Paul. You just got to get up, wipe the dirt off your shoulders, and face the world with a smile. We're going to learn to smile again, Jack. We're going to learn to grin again, creepily, at little girls and sniff their hair again, Jack. We're going to learn to squeeze the butt cheeks of our volunteers and political aides, Jack, as they walk by.
We're gonna bite our wives' fingers.
Yeah, we're going to suck our wife's fingers until she can't take it no more, Jack. Yeah. That movie is why I'm stoked for Paul Dano's Riddler. What? Oh, yeah, I don't.
Playing the Riddler.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. The DNC would have won if Bernie had gotten the nomination too. Nobody wanted Trump. Why did they scuttle him so hard? Because he actually wanted to do things that would have cost money to Raytheon, like not bomb foreign countries. And he actually wanted to like raise the tax rate on the upper wage earners and stop the corporate loopholes that allow Amazon and a billion other fucking companies to pay an effective 0% tax. That's why they scuttled him so hard. They scuttled him so hard that even if he didn't have any intention on doing that they won't even allow you to have that rhetoric. If you've got the rhetoric of we're going to fix things, like we're going to help you, we're going to make America a place where a normal, like a job can pay for a family to eat and you can have a little place, you know? If you start talking that type of shit, you're not even going to get on the ticket. You're not going to get it.
Can't have Medicare for all on the platform.
No.
Be socialism.
So and like people will go like, Bernie lost. No, here's what they did this year. This is how they made Bernie win this year, or Bernie lose this year. On Bloody Sunday, all of the corporate Dems drop out and endorse Biden. Bernie had a commanding lead. Biden had a little bit of momentum because he took a southern state. And then as soon as that happened, everybody just assumed that because Biden, who's basically a conservative, took a southern state, that he was going to take all these other states. And then everybody dropped out. All the corp Dems dropped out and said, Joe Biden, Buttigieg, Biden, Klobuchar, Biden. And everybody that was in those other camps all went to Biden, and Biden won.
And then Bernie didn't even stick it out. He just bowed out.
Bernie didn't even mention it. He just took it in the ass like he did the year before. I don't even think he wanted it this year.
Yeah, well, it's like, I think he stuck it out towards almost the end in 2016. But this past year,
he was just like, all right, well, see you guys later. Bye. We tried to help America, but we didn't. I'm gonna go home, put my mittens on, and watch Law and Order SVU, my favorite show, with a blanket across my lap and a warm chocolate chip cookie and a cool glass of milk. Thank you very much. And all those hopeful dollars that young people came out of pocket, you remember how he bragged about how, I've got the largest campaign ever made on small donations. The largest campaign ever on small donations that I handed to Joe Biden because I just gave up. I stopped campaigning, and I immediately gave all that funding to the DNC. So thank you to all of those hopeful kids. What a piece of shit. Fuck you twice in a row with this shit. By the way, did the same thing in 2016. Oh, yes, we have a very grassroots campaign that I funneled all the money from into Hillary Clinton.
I'm a millionaire now.
Yep.
Peace.
I got 3 houses now, and very warm mittens, and a pretty comfy job in the Senate. I'm just going to go back. Thank you very much.
Write another book.
I will write a book about my 2 losses and make another $1 million. Warren and Yang wouldn't even back Bernie. Yeah, because they knew which way the wind was blowing. They wanted to stay in it and look like they weren't fucking joining the chorus. They were still outsiders and shit. But they knew which way the wind was fucking blowing by that time. There was no amount of backing Bernie after that. It's like Super Tuesday happened. And all these states came in with all of this momentum from the news that came in over the weekend and on Monday that all of these candidates had dropped out and endorsed Biden. And then your average low information voter, which we got to be honest here, that's most people that vote in this country, fall into that category of low information voter. They just kind of like, oh, Biden's the one that's going to win this year? Okay, I'll vote for him then.
Or they dropped out like so close to it that they were still getting votes on the ballots.
Right.
Which means they just went down the toilet.
Right, exactly. There was a lot of instances where Bernie was screwed out of possible votes because they were still on the ballots in these states.
Yeah.
So once again, low information voters went in there and went like, Klobuchar!
Or they just voted early and then they were fucked.
Right. It just doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah.
The DNC engineered his fucking downfall twice. We sat and watched it happen twice, and now there's like a bunch of people trying to pretend it didn't happen. It's like, all right, no. Dude, I'm gonna say something, and I don't want this to be a finger pointing thing, because so I'm gonna have people. I'm not gonna point out any fucking people. I have a feeling though. I have a feeling that there is a popular leftist movement that is a masquerade to feed young people into the status quo. I'm not saying that anybody is a member of that. I just have this feeling that something is happening here. And what it is ain't exactly clear. It feels like an op almost. Like it really does. It feels like a way to take passionate young people and like toodly 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 to shoo them along the way into status quo leftism. Okay, yeah, revolution, yeah. Next time, yeah. Biden this time though, yeah, Biden. Harris next time, yeah. No. Yeah, revolution, yeah. Healthcare, yeah. Environment, yeah. Next time. You know what I mean? Voting is revolutionary. Yay!
Can't go too fast, otherwise you're a tanky.
Yeah, this whole like fucking like leftism tearing itself apart with these dumbass internet labels. It's just like, wait a minute. This reeks like it's starting to stink like an op up in here to me. And hey, dude, I tend towards the paranoid, but I tell you what, it serves me well. Serves me well. And this like young people that are all fervent, calling themselves crazy shit like anarcho-communist and socialist and shit, but they're all just acting like their mom did and voted for Biden. You know what I mean? Like when I see all of that passion being funneled into the dog turd that is modern leftism, I'm like, you know, this is either happening by accident or this might be being like, this might be the idea of it. I mean, dude, I hate to say how much sense it makes. Everywhere around me, I see leftists stabbing each other in the back for no discernible reason. Society is against us. We're against ourselves. Yeah. I don't know. There will be a breaking point, yes. You mean that V guy is a CIA plant? That's what I said. Quote me. That Vouch is from the CIA. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there seems to be a broader movement within leftism that dresses itself up in Marx and Stalin and Engels and Lenin.
We already know Facebook bots exist and Twitter bots and all that shit.
Yeah, right. It dresses itself up in like red flags and red roses and Marx and Engels and Stalin and Lenin and Mao and shit, right? And then it tells people to vote for Biden. When I say it, I mean the conglomeration of the voices that it encompasses. Funnel very passionate young leftists into the shit tube that is Biden. It's hard to believe that that's just accidental. And, you know, we just whoopsied that, you know. We accidentally took all of this youthful passion that has driven so many social movements in the past that were necessary in the United States and funneled it down the dog shit tube that is Biden. Ooh, ooh. Dude, smoke perp. Can I just speak on something? I've heard the Vosh CP allegation shit where he supposedly said some shit that was pro CP. I've listened to the conversation in context, and he was not advocating for making child porn legal. He was making a moral argument that if this is legal, if it's legal for us to kill people, then why is it not legal for us to exploit children in this way that, would lead, this, that, and the other thing. Like, if you listen to he's clearly not advocating for a world that's just like raining in the CP. If you have a problem with Vosh, have a problem with Vosh like I do. I have a problem that all of his rhetoric and shit funnels passionate young people up the ass of normal fucking liberalism. How about you just like contend with his fucking talk? Because all of this, like, this person's a pedo, that person's a pedo, this person's a pedo, that person's a pedo. This fucking accusation flinging that goes on now, it's not cute. It's not a joke. So, I don't appreciate it, to be honest with you. Like, I don't like insinuations that somebody is something that can destroy their whole fucking life and career. You got some fucking proof. You got a picture of Vosh doing something he shouldn't be doing with a kid or something. Let me know. But until then, when you're talking about a philosophical conversation that went on and you're taking a little blurb and going to see like CP, like you're basically like that fucking Chris Hansen guy that got blown up. Who didn't see that coming, by the way? Chris Hansen dude that is all about like, I'm the guy that's gonna root out the pedophiles, and now he's just been exposed as having a bunch of fucking scumbags working for him, doing all kinds of shady shit, and he's just a grifter. It's like, dude, calm the fuck down. If somebody is out there abusing a child, there's whole agencies out there that are searching those people out. They don't need your fucking help, bro. And if you have some proof that somebody did something, call the police, please.
Don't like just sit on it like an egg.
Yeah, don't just cast aspersions and shit all over the fucking internet like a douchebag. Like, come with some proof if you got some life fucking altering accusation to make about somebody, or don't make it. The internet has tainted some people, man. Well, Nazi and racist is different than pedo. You know who gets fucked up in the prison? Not the Nazis, not the racists. They've got their own little gang of people that have their back. Pedos. People that go to jail for pedophilia, and I'm not saying they shouldn't go to jail. They're the lowest of the low on the totem pole. So if you accidentally send somebody or cast an aspersion that leads to somebody being fucking accused of something they didn't do, they end up in the worst possible fucking murder house that you can think of. So why don't you leave it to people who are trained to do this? And quit pretending like you're little junior fucking McGruff crime dogs. Stop it. Open a dictionary, learn definitions, use them correctly, stop changing meaning. Just stop fucking, like, stop being concerned. Unless, like, once again, you've got hard proof that this person is what you're saying they are, then you shouldn't go to the internet with it. You should go to the fucking FBI with it. So they can go to jail. So that the child or children that they're abusing can be saved from them. The fact that, like, oh, this guy might be kind of a pedo because he said this thing this one time on the internet shit is bullshit. Stop it. Have you seen how, like, pedo catching is a big thing now? Yeah. Have you seen how many people have been misidentified by these fucking dumb fucks that don't do their due diligence and harassed for no reason? Yeah, go look into that. Isn't that great?
Yeah, well, didn't YouTube say something like a long time ago, like, we're gonna try getting rid of clickbait titles?
It's like, whatever. What they meant was, here's the new rules for clickbait titles. It's libel unless spoken and not publicly posted. Right, whatever. I'm not arguing it. It isn't. Some of them work hard to make sure that doesn't happen and always go to police. Huh?
Are you talking about these pedo investigators on YouTube or whatever?
Yeah, then go ahead and do it. I'm fine with that, but you're not that, is what I'm telling you. And 99% of the people who are doing the Vosh is a pedo meme are not that. They're just dorks that have picked up a little soundbite from something that Vosh talked about once and ran with it. Just fucking stop. Paul, have you ever watched Daria? Yes. I've watched Daria. Just a weird thing for him to compare of all examples. He picked that one. Yeah, he picked a fucking bad example because people like you just can't get over it. I agree. He should have picked something else.
Like, I think probably
I'm
the
not.
general rule on the internet is don't bring it up unless it's necessary.
Yeah,
In any context.
exactly. Which is why me fucking sitting here and bouncing this is probably a fucking bad idea. Because now they'll probably be fucking quote mining this shit. Just ridiculous, dude. Just like dumb fart thinking. Poopy. It's like the Jerry Springer show escaped. And now it's the real world. And the entire world is just like, Jerry, 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 Jerry. You know, and he comes out every once in a while and he's like, you know, somebody in this room is a murderer. Ooh, Jerry. Bring him out. Boo. I'm not a murderer. I'm not a murderer. No. Listen. Now, there's no proof he's a murderer. Boo. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's the same shit. It's literally the same shit. I grew up watching it on TV knowing it was fake, and now I'm looking at the world and it's become that. And not just with this fucking topic that set this off. I'm talking about everything. Accusations of everything are just flung around like ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, 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 pong. You know, oh shit, oh damn, ah. Like, don't you guys get fucking sick of being like, oh? It's like, no. Like, I'd sit in a Jerry audience and go, oh, like once in a while, but I swear to God, some of you operate on constant, like, oh, whoa, Jerry. It's like, Paul's ego melts the internet with facts and logic, whatever. I'm not denying it can be fun. Like I said, like if I never got to go to a Jerry taping, but if I was there, I'm not going to be that dude in the audience that's like trying to pretend he's not into it. I'd go with it, you know. I'm cheating on you, Sarah. Boo! But there's one other thing. What? It's a midget. Boo! Oh, shit! Ah! You know what I mean? But I just feel like that, like, I swear to God, there's some people in my community and in the broader fucking community that seems to fucking touch mine, that they operate on that level every fucking second of every day. It's like, man, sometimes you gotta leave the Jerry audience, you know what I mean?
But it's just so much more fun to slang DMs screenshots over and over.
No, it's just ridiculous, dude. It's just like,
that's the pinnacle of existence, dude, is just slanging screenshots and receipts. Like, receipts, bitch!
fling, 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 oh, shit, oh! You know, it's like the fucking, ugh. Calm the fuck down, man. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. It's like I fucking went into a coma and woke up and the world became an episode of fucking Judge Joe Brown. It's fucking crazy out here.
That was like the staple every day in my house. You had to watch Judge Judy.
Dude, I love Judge Joe. Joe Brown.
Joe Brown, yeah.
Did you watch People's Court with Meredith Millian? I liked her especially. Yeah, I love all those shows. So I'm not shitting on you. Trust me. But you know, you watch an episode of them and then they're over for the day, and then, you know. Judge Hatchett, yeah. There was Judge Hatchett, and then who else was there? I'm trying to think if there was another judge I used to love watching too. Like a younger black guy.
Divorce court or something? Wasn't that like a black chick doing divorce?
Yeah, I remember there was a black lady that did divorce court, but I'm talking about there's a Judge Joe Brown, and then there's another younger black dude. I'm trying to remember what his name was. Judge Mathis. Yep. Judge Mathis. You want to know what, dude? Judge Mathis doesn't get enough love because Judge Mathis had almost as sick of burns as Judge Judy had. Like, Judge Mathis stayed cool, but had sick burns. I kind of like Judge Judy. Yeah, I mean, well, whatever. I mean, I like watching the shows.
It's a show.
They're fun to tune into every once in a while, but you realize that what's going on is not real.
No lawsuit is
No.
in 20 minutes.
Nobody takes their fucking, like, precious property and puts it on the line in front of Judge Judy. It's a bunch of actors and shit, and it's bullshit. So, yeah. And if they do it, they're stupid. You know what I mean? Judge Joe Brown is the best TV judge. You know what? Judge Joe Brown, you know what he was good at doing? Dressing down guys that were heading down the wrong path.
Oh, yeah.
I remember how Judge Joe used to come at dudes that tried to get, like, gangster with him.
Yeah.
Because, like, some dudes would walk in there and act like, man, I don't give a fuck about this or whatever. They'd cuss in his court, and he'd be like, oh, no, go ahead and get it out. So he'd let the guy, fuck you, whatever. And he'd count them in his head, and then he'd be like, every last one of those is an infraction on your judgment. You just cost yourself $2,000. You want to shut up now? And then he'd dress him down some more. He would be like, let me tell you something, man. He always had that story about his childhood. He's like, I grew up on the streets, and I ran with the bad kids, and I went down the road that you went down. And I'm telling you, man, it led me to nothing but sorrow, and I'm glad that it's behind me in my life and that I went forward trying to do something that helps people instead of hurting people like you're trying to do. And then the guy would be like, whatever, man, blah, 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 blah. And then the whole audience is all into it, of course. I remember Judge Joe, yeah. I remember when Derek Jensen said, we don't live where we live. We live with Brad Pitt and Angelina and Pedro and his hurt toe. To my mind, the drama obsession is a natural extension of that mindset, yes. Yes, yes. You ever seen that movie, The King? No, I don't know. Maybe. It's such a generic title that I can't tell you. I've seen a lot of movie about kings. Yeah. There's a guy back when I was a lifeguard here. Went by the name of Corn Pop. Well, this is serious. Corn Pop, he was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys around town, too. Anyway, I hollered something down at Corn Pop that I shouldn't have said because he's going in the pool and he had his hair slicked back with pomade and it would get in the pool, and there was a rule about it. And so I said something to him about it, and I said, hey, Esther. And I shouldn't have said it, I feel bad about that. And then I went to leave that day, Jack, and I tell you, them boys was out there. And what we used to do was we'd put our straight razors in a rain barrel so they get rusty. You know what I'm talking about, right, huh? Yeah. You scrape it on the edge of the sidewalk so it get chipped. So really, And so I went out and I saw the Corn Pop and his boys was there. And so I didn't know what to do. So I walked down and I went into the maintenance area underneath the pool house there, where the pumps and all the machines are to make the pool do the jets, Jack. And the guy down there, he's an old guy named Percy Jones. An old white guy. He used to do all the pools around here in the parks and the pumps for all those water fountains in the town. And he's down there, and I told him what my problem was, and I was going to sneak out the back. And he said, no, boy. He took me by the shoulders and said, Joe, if you sneak out the back and you don't face those boys for what you said and apologize, you ain't no better than a snake or a rat. And then he cut me a length of chain. And I had that chain that went across the pool, Jack. He cut me a length of chain, and he said, if you leave out the back, Jack, don't come. You better not show your face to me again. And that's right. And so I did. I took that length of chain, and I walked out there, and there was Corn Pop and his boys, and they had their rusty rain barrel razors. And I looked him in the eye, and I said, Corn Pop, I'm sorry. I want to apologize. And he said, you want to apologize to me? He said, yeah, I want to apologize for what I said to you. I shouldn't have called you that. I should have called you Esther. It was demeaning. I shouldn't have done that to you. But you're going to have to follow the rules, because that's my job, Jack. Now, if you and your boys want to tussle, I'm going to wrap the chain around one of your heads. But we don't have to do that, Jack. We can go like Americans. We can shake our hands here. Put down our rusty rain barrel razors, and I'll put down my length of chain that old Percy cut for me. And we'll hug it out. And so that's what we did. Me and Corn Pop and the boys. We hugged it out. They were bad boys. But after that day, they were good boys. Boys. I got hairy legs, you know. I was sitting by the pool. Out here. Right out here. Used to be the lifeguard. I got hairy legs. Turn blonde. The sun. The kids used to like to swim up to my legs and they put water on my legs. They slicked the hair down. They used to like to watch the hair stand up. And so, I love children. I loved having children in my lap. And I learned about having children in my lap. And I learned about roaches. Sorry, no. That was actually a speech that was given to black people by Joe Biden. And the actual speech that it came from was way longer than that. But I may not have gotten every detail right, but that was actually, people spent time sitting and listening to that. Plus another hour or so of shit. Dude, is that from memory? Yeah. Biden is absolutely insane. He is. Dude, the audience was jam-packed and confused as fuck. He was a bad dude. Well, I had to cover it a lot during the fucking run-up to the election, you know. I am Biden. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always Biden. Thank God that's over. I can make sure it's like all the way over for you if you want, Aleo. Yeah, you're a rude dude with a rude tude. Well, you got such a rude tude on you, dude. Oh. Rudy tooty, fresh and fruity, bad mood, yes. Well, I mean, I'm not really a bad mood, to be honest with you. I'm actually, I don't know. I'm between moods, I guess. I've been kind of flat today. I got to laugh a lot earlier because I got to play some Dota with Jason and my new friend Vince. He and I became fast friends over one game of Dota. And now we're basically like brothers. And I'm basically going to steal him away from Jason, and he's going to be my new bestie. And Jason's going to be like the third wheel. No, I'm kidding. So seeing there's a lull in the conversation, I'm going to drop my 1/420 Weedcast comment to brag about my dab flower mix bowl I'm about to light. Cheers on that. That sounds good. Scotty called those landmines. He used to love dropping those on me. I know I've told you guys that. Back in Washington, he would be like, Paul Gigo, want to smoke? And I'd never say no to that. So I'm like, yeah, dude. It's like, here, man, you can have greens. And I'd be like, dude, thank you, bro. And I'd light it up, spark it hella fucking hot, you know, because I think it's just a bowl. And it's got a big old nugget of like fucking wax in it. And I just cough my fucking brains out, and he'd laugh. It's a landmine. I made a comfy time to fend off some breeze. Me and my moods are on sabbatical. Paul, do you think you'll ever make short videos again like you used to long ago? I used to like those. I've thought about it, you know? I don't know. I actually have given some thought to it. Like actually doing some short form content on here, just like unedited, kind of like I used to. And maybe jumping back into that. I talked about it a while ago about jumping back into the ego answers shit because that tended to be pretty a popular series I used to do. You know, of course, those were heavily curated by me. I picked everything. I explained that to everybody at the beginning of every one of those that I did. It was like, you know, like you can ask me whatever you want, but I'm gonna pick the ones that I think are, you know, gonna be fun for me to answer. So that might be kind of fun. I know I've talked about doing it before. I don't want to like establish in people's minds that it's going to be something that happens all the fucking time. But I used to do very infrequent videos anyway, so I don't see why every once in a while I might hop on and just do like a short form little vlog or whatever the fuck. This is how I prefer to interact with the audience members that like a little extra dose of me. And, you know, those that do are here, and those that don't give a fuck aren't, and those that don't want it aren't. I save the episodes for when I'm at work, so these are my day off doses. Yeah. Well, you know, whatever. I like doing them. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I'm going to take a little time to myself before I hit the hay because I got a long day tomorrow. But thanks for chilling. I'll see you next time. Good night.